The social media platform known as Parler has made a comeback. After two shutdowns, it is now back in the Google and Apple Play Store. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Go for a ride down the side. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Airy. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell and consider becoming a channel member. All right, so yeah, it's true. Parler is back. It was launched in 2018, which I'll go into more detail later. But after it being shut down first by Amazon and then later by its new owners, it has now become a new app and another challenger on the social media app battle, if you will. So, this is according to Yahoo News Malaysia for some reason. Parler, a social media app popular with US conservatives, is returning to Google's App Store more than 1.5 years after the Alphabet Inc. owned company removed it following the J6 event. The app was launched in 2018 and styled itself as a free speech space for those seeking an alternative to platforms such as Twitter, which, as an aside, it was then owned by Jack Dorsey. Continuing, it quickly gained traction from supporters of former U.S. President Donald Trump. It mentions J6 again because the media is obsessed with this event that happened 3 years ago. The app is now being reinstated after it undertook a series of measures to moderate content on the platform, including features to block abusive users and remove content that could incite violence, a Google spokesperson said. Parler has substantially modified its app to comply with Play Store's policies and will be available for download from Friday, the spokesperson added. Parler has a strong commitment to free speech and, despite the market duopoly, is working to provide options and choices for the millions of voices currently being censored or suppressed based on their viewpoint, said Christina Cravens, Parler's marketing chief. To be sure, Parler has made its app available for Android phones through a separate version that could be downloaded on its website after it was removed from Play Store. Apple Inc. reinstated the app on its App Store in May last year. So it wasn't just shut down that once by Amazon, it was later also shut down by its new owners when, because there was this time when uh, the company that owned it, they wanted to sell to Kanye West, but then he made some controversial comments, which he often does. And then that's when they were sold to a company called Starboard, and that was early to that 2023, I believe. So Starboard has recently sold it. I say recently, it was actually in December 2023, so not that recent. But this is according to the official Wikipedia page, and the only reason I'm using them is I couldn't find any other information on who owns Parler now. So I just wanted to read this paragraph, but take this with a grain of salt. This is Wikipedia. On December 15th, 2023, the company was sold to a new co-owner group consisting of Ryan Rhodes, Elise Pirati, and Jaco Booyens. Ryan Rhodes was appointed CEO. A 2024 relaunch was hinted at by the new ownership after the company purchase. In January 2024, the company's external social media outlets officially restarted operations to announce the relaunch. The platform itself remains inaccessible, but the website has been restored. So this is a little behind. Parler is officially back. It's now a full-flown app. You can even access your own account, which I did. You can follow me there if you happen to be on the platform. It's at Real Jacob Airy. I plan on posting there again. And here's the reason. Parler was growing so fast, which I think this is the real reason they shut it down. It had nothing to do with J6. They are growing so fast. I was actually getting more traffic to my YouTube channel and to my website from Parler. I was posting there so much, about the same speed as Twitter at the time. And then I just thought one day, hey, I'm getting more traffic from Parler. I'm actually going to slow down my Twitter posting, because at the time, Dorsey had let Twitter just become a cesspool. It's not much better under Elon Musk. I mean, he is doing a better job, controlling the bots, but it still has a lot of stuff. And they're reinstating adult content to the platform, which I think is a huge mistake. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Parler is going to develop. I hope that they have success, because we do need more voices in the social media marketplace of ideas. It doesn't make sense for people to put so much stock. They're interviewing Elon and they're thinking, like, you have a responsibility. No, he doesn't, and neither does Zuckerberg. The only contract they have is with their users. They don't have any other social content. And hopefully places like Getter and Parler, MeWe, Minds, they will know this, because I do think that there is a space for people who want alternatives to the big tech platforms. And as much as people love Twitter, now X, under Elon Musk, I get it. I didn't like it at first. I don't like a lot of the decisions he's making. I feel like X could go the way of MetaCafe at some point, but I do hope that Elon Musk, reroutes. That being said, I do think that there are spaces open for free speech alternative platforms like Parler, because we need it. The more competition, the better, because it'll force the bigger ones to provide better services and maybe ignore, the corporate press and the mainstream media, like the finger wagging I just mentioned. As to the owners, I'm not familiar with Ryan Rhodes. I'm not familiar with Elise Pirati. I am familiar with Jaco Booyans, because he makes frequent appearances on The Blaze. He runs this amazing ministry where he rescues human trafficking victims. I believe he's even putting together a documentary based on some of the operations his ministry has put forth. He's very intense when he gets on, because he's very passionate about saving children, about saving people from human traffickers. And his commentary is always very interesting. So, like I said, I'm not familiar with his co-owners, but I do think Jaco Booyans, with his desire to see people be free, I think that that will be a good influence on Parler. So, with that in mind, I am looking forward to publishing on it. I do plan on publishing it. So if you are on there, keep a lookout for my articles, keep a lookout for my videos. Now, I do have one word of advice for Parler. If someone sends their new management this video, I would greatly appreciate it. I have no idea. Now, there's a lot of already there's a lot of alternatives to Twitter and Facebook, right? Facebook has Gab and MeWe challenging it. Um, Twitter has Getter challenging it. Minds is kind of like more like MySpace, but if I was to pick a platform, it'd probably be comparable to Facebook. So my advice to the people behind Parler now, you should focus more on the photo sharing aspect, because Instagram kind of rules the roast when it comes to image sharing, especially among the social media big platforms, the big tech social media platforms, if you will. So, Parler, I think you should expand your photo sharing opportunities, make it easier to see images, maybe even put a image grid. A lot of social media platforms have that, and I think you would really take off if you present yourself not as an alternative to Twitter or Facebook or whatever, but if you presented yourself as an alternative to Instagram as well. I think you could have something going, and maybe you could even at some point do your own version of Reels. I think Parler does have that capability. It's just not as well known, but I'm serious. I do think that that sort of adjustment would help the app in the long run. Now, that's just my opinion. Just going as my career as a marketer, that's how I see things. That's how I look at things. I always try to look at ways to make whoever's product unique whenever I'm talking to a client or in my day job. I always like, how do we set our stuff apart? And I think Parler, what would set them apart is if they focused on that photo sharing aspect. Now, like I said, I hope that they don't get shut down again by nefarious activities using some random political event to as an excuse to do that. I do hope that Parler is able to grow healthy. I wish them nothing but well wishes and good vibes. I do hope that they succeed, because we do need more social media platforms in the space, in the marketplace of ideas. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, share it out to all your friends, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications, and consider becoming a channel member where you get all kinds of perks, and it helps support indie creators like myself. But if you're watching on Rumble, Odyssey, or BitChute, and you're like, hey, I don't want to really support you on big tech, no worries. Click on the link to my locals community. It's in the description of the video. It's another way you can help indie creators. It's kind of like a Patreon and a subscribe star if you need that comparison. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die